Well, hello there, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Marilyn's Cafe Society radio show on YouTube. Yep, for all practical purposes. Today is Saturday, the 12th day of January 2019. Once again, Happy New Year. So glad to have you guys on board. And of course, a short show, not as short as last week, but we're just popping in. We had some changes in the schedule that's preventing me from doing the huge production that I planned with video and all of that. But just happy to be back with you on this second Saturday in 2019. So how are you? How was your week? My goodness, so much has happened, right? Of course, we're in the 22nd day of government shutdown, and folks are coming out and speaking out against it. Folks are missing their paychecks, not able to pay bills. It's a mess. It's a mess. And so we're going to watch it and kind of see how things turn out with this big story with the government. And then on the entertainment side of things, we've been bombarded with the news about this R. Kelly docuseries. And I'll just comment on that a little bit towards the end of the show. But for now, let's just get into, oh, by the way, I'm done. Well, almost. Just have one or two other things that I have to do in terms of just, wiping away any trace of the Christmas holiday. We spend so much time prepping, right? And then all of a sudden, someone flips a switch and it's all over. Well, I stretched mine out through, I think by Monday I was pretty much done. I just have a few little things I got to pack up and put away. How are you doing with your Christmas decorations? As I drive through the neighborhoods and everything, I do notice some folks still have things up, and that's okay. As long as the flowers don't start growing before you take them out. All right, so let's go ahead and get into on this day in history. Again, it's Saturday, January 12, 2019. And on this day in history back in 2010, yes, that devastating earthquake hit Haiti. You guys remember that, right? It was an earthquake with a magnitude of 7.0. Hit the poorest country in the Western Hemisphere. And of course, that left more than 250,000 people who lost their lives, and then about 300,000 people were injured. Some 3 million people were affected, and about 1.5 million individuals were forced to live in makeshift camps for displaced persons. Now, again, this was the most devastating natural disaster ever experienced in Haiti, and they get hit quite a bit. And in terms of the world record, it was the fourth worst earthquake in recorded history. So they are still trying to recover. They're shortly after that particular, well, some months after that earthquake hit that region of the world, or that part of the world, they were hit in October of 2010 with the cholera outbreak, right? And of course that was all as a result of the earthquake, because folks just weren't able to keep their hygiene up, and infrastructure was devastated, so there was no way that they could really prevent the spread of disease. Now, things are continuing to be challenging for our friends in Haiti. And as of 2011, UNICEF jumped in and helped 1 million or so Haitians with temporary shelters. In 2012, Hurricane Isaac and Hurricane Sandy caused more damage and flooding. By 2013, more than 8,000 Haitians had died from the cholera, and of course they are suffering from malnourishment and so much still right now today. So we will continue to keep the folks over in Haiti in our prayers and in our thoughts. Just, to give you some facts here, about $16 billion in total aid was allocated by international agencies and private donors to Haiti between the years of 2010 and so far. Now, they apparently, some of these agencies have budgeted money that should help this country through 2020, which is just next year if you think about it. So again, they're still trying to recuperate and get the infrastructure back on track in that country. And I know that's an extended on this day in history, but again, it was just something that happened, and it was just so devastating. One of the reasons, again, is because it was already a poor, underdeveloped country, right? There were no building codes enforced as folks constructed buildings and so forth. So when the earthquake hit, that's why so many people lost their homes and so forth. So they still have issues with political, social, and environmental insecurity. So again, we just keep them in our thoughts and prayers. Now, if you want to give, just find one of those agencies, organizations that is reputable and do in fact help these countries, and give. I'm sure there are still some churches and organizations that are receiving products, water, things of that nature, that you can also contribute if you don't want to give financially. But one of the best things that we can do, again, is to lift up those children and families affected, particularly as these reoccurring disasters continue to happen over in that region. Back in 2016, Hurricane Matthew happened. So again, they're just hit on, it's hit after hit after hit. So let's just keep them in our prayers and thoughts, and give if you can. All right. So again, that was our On This Day in History, an extended version. We'll jump into some cafe news right now on the business end. I just, want to keep it brief. I did find some information, guys. As we start this new year, 2019, this is the perfect time to try to get our financial situation in order, right? Or at least to revisit where we are financially. And so I turned to one of the organizations that where we have certified public accountants who are members, who put down some tips. They share some tips that we lay people can do just to kind of put ourselves on a good footing financially for 2019. And one of the things that they're recommending is that we just kind of revisit, our spending habits for the year, set some goals, and then put the plan in action to make sure that we meet those goals. So obviously what we want to do in terms of goals is reduce our debt and increase our income and investments, right? And so when you create that plan to make those things happen, you want to make sure that it's a plan that's achievable. There's nothing like setting our sights way too high and then we don't quite make it, right? And then it kind of throws everything out the window. So set those goals on how you want to reduce your debt, and then make that plan to make it happen, and then set those goals on how you want to increase your income and investments, and then write a plan on how you want to make that happen for this year, 2019. Another thing that they're suggesting or recommending that we do is to just, as I said in the first tip, just review our spending habits, our expenses, and from there come up with a reasonable budget for 2019. And when we revisit where our money went in 2018, don't take into account those non-reoccurring expenses. You know how sometimes things just kind of pop up. It's just a one-time thing. Don't consider that. Just your regular monthly expenses. And then again, plot a course for 2019 spending that includes a little buffer for, you know, those unforeseen expenses that can happen. The third tip that they're recommending is that we go back and make note of those payment that automatically comes out of our funds, you know, subscriptions or renewals, so that you'll remember, you know, it'll refresh your memory in terms of what's coming out to pay, you know, what's coming out every month. What are you paying that's automatic that you don't pay attention to because it is set up to come out automatically? Go back and look at all of that so that you will know, you know, where you are and where your money is going. The fourth tip is, of course, to go back to your W-4s for withholding and see if you need to make some adjustments there, you know. That could be if you had some major life changes, you got married or had more children or whatever, you might want to make some adjustments to your W-4. Number 5, you also want to try to take care of your 2018 taxes way before April 15th, okay? So sit down as soon as you can and review your taxes. You know, just go through it yourself before you have your accountant do it, so you'll have an idea of where you are with things in your 2018 taxes. Number 6, they're asking that you revisit your workplace retirement plan contributions. Do you even remember what it is? These CPAs are saying that we should increase our contribution every year. So revisit that, and if you have room for an increase for your contribution, go ahead and do that. They are recommending that we do it, so that's something that we can do. Also, if you have IRAs or HSA contributions, go ahead and make them for 2018. It's only going to help you. And then tip 8 is they are suggesting that if you have a Roth or an IRA, to look at that adjusted gross income and plan accordingly, because there are some caps on how you deal with that, okay? And tip number 9 is, of course, to take a look at your portfolio, if you have one. You know, where are you in terms of diversification, and do you need to make some changes? So again, take a look at that. And then last but not least, they are asking people to consider making gifts to their beneficiaries at the beginning of the year, because it helps reduce your estate taxes. All right, so rather than sit on gifts that you have in place for your beneficiaries, go ahead and try to get that done in advance. And again, it's going to help with your tax situation. So those are the 10 financial wellness tips that I wanted to make sure you guys have, and I hope that you have an opportunity to go ahead and make sure that you sit down and run through it, so that we can all be, you know, the focus for the beginning of the year for all of us is usually, you know, we want good health and we want to make more money, but sometimes we have to just sit down and go step by step through tips that we find to help us think it through more clearly, as opposed to just saying, you know, okay, I want to lose 50 pounds in 2019. Okay, so how are you going to do that? Set goals, make a plan, and have those benchmarks to make sure that you hit those goals and make progress. Same thing with this financial health. We want to make sure that we stay on top of that. Okay, all right, so let's go ahead and let me just share this real quickly before we get into what's happening with the stock market. Did you hear about Sallie Mae? They are awarding $20,000 scholarships to graduate students. Yep, they have opened up that window to begin accepting applications from students. It's called the Bridging the Dream Scholarship for graduate students. And they're going to award 4 $20,000 scholarships to students who creatively describe their unique journey to graduate school, who or what influenced them to pursue an advanced degree, and what they hope to accomplish with it. Now, the deadline for this application is February 15th, 2019, right before midnight Eastern Standard Time. Students can go to salliemae.com/Bridging the Dream Grad all together. So, they're doing this because they're in that business of scholarships and awarding money. And, the research has shown that, graduate school is becoming more of a necessity for a lot of students, especially the younger ones, and even some of the older ones. They want to position themselves to advance or accelerate and remain competitive in the job market these days. And so one way to do that is, of course, to pursue an advanced degree. And so they have decided that they're going to offer these 4 degrees, and they've been doing it for a while now. And so if you're interested, again, you can go to salliemae.com/Bridging the Dream Grad to get that application in. And again, the deadline is February 15th, 2019, right before midnight. All right. So let's take a quick look at what's happening on the stock market. It looks like the Dow Jones is up. They closed at 24,001.92. The NASDAQ is also up. They closed at 6,986.07. S&P is up. They closed at just under 2,600. And those businesses that have seen some gains is General Electric, Amber SA, and Pfizer. Those that didn't do so well include Bank America, Chesapeake Energy, and Weatherford International. So just a quick rundown on what's happening on the stock market. We also want to go ahead and just real briefly, I want to just make a quick comment about the topic, on social media and regular media with the R. Kelly docuseries and the alleged, the allegations that these women are making. I think the time, obviously the time is now, in recent years, for a lot of what had been swept under the rug, or folks turn and look the other way, or it has just been acceptable behavior or expectation in certain industries, especially the entertainment industry, in terms of how women are treated or handled. Again, we've been hearing about this for maybe 3, 4, 5 years now, and it seems like there's always someone new. And so this time around, it's Grammy Award-winning musician R. Kelly. I have not seen the docuseries now, but individuals that I respect and are well respected are speaking out against R. Kelly. I want to wait before I really weigh in on this. I want to wait and see the docuseries. I just know, based on what I've been hearing, that it is one-sided. It's all from the victim's perspective, and we don't really hear from him. But again, folks that I respect are reporting that they're thoroughly disgusted with what they discovered in this docuseries in terms of the behavior of R. Kelly. I must say, I'm not surprised, about anything that much anymore, when it comes to women and how they've been treated in various industries, and again, especially the entertainment industry. So I'm going to see it. I believe it's rerunning today, and just FYI for you guys who may have picked up on this, I'm actually recording the show in advance, so it's actually Friday, and Lifetime is going to be rerunning the docuseries tonight, and I'm going to check it out, and next week I'll be able to weigh in more accurately on how I feel about this. I am excited that women are being heard. Now women do have a voice now, thanks to the Me Too movement, and a lot of celebrities and other well-respected, well-known individuals are coming out and standing with them. So I'm excited about that, but I know that he has a history of allegedly misusing or taking advantage of young women in particular. So we'll see how it goes tonight. And again, tune in next Saturday, and I'll have more to say about that. All right, and then on a lighter note, remember this: it's actually going down on Sunday, January 13th. That is Aretha, a Grammy celebration for the Queen of Soul. That's right. It's going down on Sunday, January 13th. At the Shrine Auditorium in Los Angeles. It's a live concert. So many people are participating in this, of course, honoring the life and legacy of Queen of Soul, Aretha Franklin, Yolanda Adams, Shirley Caesar, Chloe X. Halle, Kelly Clarkson, her, Jennifer Hudson, John Legend. So many are participating in this, and Smokey Robinson, who, by the way, grew up with Aretha Franklin in Michigan, in Detroit, Michigan. They, have known each other since they were kids. He's participating now. He's been added to the all-star lineup. So it's going to be live Sunday, this Sunday. But we will get to see the broadcast, a special broadcast that's going to take place Sunday, March 10th, 2019. And that's going to happen 9 Central Time on CBS television. So it's not too late if you're tuning in and you live out in the LA area, you want to be a part of the recording, the actual live concert that's going to go down. You can get your tickets purchased at AXS.com, AXS.com. And of course, this live concert in tribute to Aretha Franklin is brought to you by the Recording Academy, AEG, Ehrlich Ventures, Clive Davis, and CBS. So I can't wait. I know that all involved are just going to bring their A game, and of course sing and perform some of her songs to a standard that I'm sure she would find acceptable. So just wanted to remind you about that. All right, I think that's it. I just want to remind you to check me out on Twitter. I try to jump on Twitter throughout the week. Marilyn's Cafe Soch. Also on Facebook, Marilyn's Cafe Society. And also you can always jump on the website, Marilyn's Cafe Society, too, to see what's going on with us. And right here on YouTube, go through some of the old videos and some of the old shows and guests. We'll get back to having guests on as well. Just got to let things kind of settle down. It's been a little hectic in my life, but once things settle down, we'll get back to having guests and the live video for you guys. All right, so again, go to Twitter, Marilyn's Cafe Society, Marilyn's Cafe Soch on Twitter, Marilyn's Cafe Society on Facebook and YouTube. Like, subscribe, follow, share, comment, do all of that. All right, it's much appreciated. And before we go, I gotta tell you what love is, and we'll say love is, because, oh my goodness, we don't have it. So we'll say, let's say love is the good news about the young lady, Jamie Kloss, who was found. Yeah, you know that story. Her parents were murdered in Wisconsin and she was missing. She was found. So that's love, all right? All right. And remember, folks, if you don't do anything else this week, be sure that you live, you laugh, and you love. As always, it's a pleasure and a privilege. We'll talk again next week. Peace, everybody.